morning, my beautifully unhinged chaos goblins. It's Friday, May 30th, and somewhere out there, people are clinking mimosas like the weekend still means something. But not me. I'm a mom. I haven't known what day it is since I gave birth to the twins. Still, welcome to your SassCast, where the facts wear stilettos, the headlines smell like conspiracy, and the commentary hits harder than a toddler's tantrum during a Zoom call. Today we've got Pentagon budget cuts that make leaner military sound like, oops, we forgot to test the missiles, a cyber spy pretending to be the chief of staff like it's a political episode of Catfish, and the Department of Justice straight up unfriending the American Bar Association. Because even judges need a little drama. And don't worry, we'll wrap it all up with a sprinkle of actual hope and a tell me something good so your soul doesn't fully evacuate through your eyeballs. So grab your caffeine, cancel your expectations, and let's dive in, because the news isn't getting smarter, but damn it, we are. Let's start where logic went to die, the Pentagon. Because what better way to ensure our weapons work than by firing the people who test them? Pete Hegseth, yes, that Pete Hegseth, just ordered a reorganization of the Pentagon's testing office, which is a cute way of saying he's slashed more than half the staff like he was on a budget-cutting game show. Left-leaning outlets are calling it dangerous, reckless, and please don't blow off your own foot, while right-leaning cheerleaders are popping champagne over a warrior ethos revival and $300 million in savings. Meanwhile, military readiness hanging by a thread and a prayer. Because nothing says support the troops like eliminating the team responsible for making sure their gear doesn't malfunction mid-battle. This move is being framed as either bureaucratic bravado or budgetary sabotage, depending on which news channel is yelling loudest. But let's be honest, if we're going to gamble with national security, maybe don't do it like it's a TikTok challenge. Now, while we are trimming staff and praying our missiles still launch in the right directions, let's check in on the nation's cybersecurity. Spoiler alert, it's being held together by prayer emojis and two-factor guesswork. Because someone just pretended to be the White House chief of staff, and not even in a good Halloween costume kind of way. U.S. officials are investigating an attempted impersonation of Susie Wiles, Golden Dawn's right-hand woman, after a May 21st breach targeted her personal phone. The hacker, linked to a campaign dubbed Salt Typhoon, because why not give it a drag name, accessed contacts from Trump advisor Mike Walz's communications and started dialing up senators, CEOs, and other very important people like it was a fishing-themed happy hour. Wiles' government phone was secure, yay for small wins, but her personal phone, compromised. Recorded calls, spoofed texts, political catfishing on Capitol Hill. So if you're wondering why officials are clinging to their secure lines like rosary beads, this is why. Cybersecurity in 2025 isn't just a risk, it's a reality show audition, and half of Washington's been unknowingly cast. And speaking of people who pretended to be what they're not, let's talk about the Department of Justice. Because they just told the American Bar Association, thanks but no thanks, we'll pick our judges like we pick reality TV contestants. No background checks, just vibes. In the legal equivalent of saying, we're done here, Pam Bondi and the DOJ cut off the American Bar Association access to federal judicial nominees. Why? Depends on who you ask. The left sees it as a dangerous erasure of independent vetting, oversight tossed aside like last season's robes. The right calls it a long overdue reckoning with a radical legal club that apparently had too much influence and not enough Second Amendment fanfare. So, what's the truth? Well, the ABA was the group giving nominees their Yelp reviews. Qualified, not qualified, please stop wearing your robes backward. Now that voice is gone, and in its place, a more streamlined, less supervised nomination pipeline. Because what could go wrong with lifetime appointments and zero accountability? When the folks approving judges also pick who reviews the judges, that's not a separation of powers, baby. That's just power doing the splits in fishnets and pretending it's justice. So to recap, the Pentagon's on a crash diet, hackers are LARPing as White House staffers, and the Department of Justice just ghosted the legal world's last functioning Yelp reviewer. Honestly, at this point, the only thing left to do is scroll through the rest of the week's absurdities like we're doom scrolling the world's worst group chat. Let's hit the quick hits, because apparently the dumb never sleeps. Gaslight, gatekeep, golf club. Florida's governor just passed a bill requiring public schools to teach kids the benefits of traditional masculinity because apparently the real crisis isn't climate change, it's a shortage of stoic men who refuse to ask for directions. Congressional Hunger Games Campaign Donor Edition. A new study found over 80% of congressional votes in the last year directly benefited major campaign donors. Who needs policy when you've got PayPal? Texas declares war on librarians. Again. Texas lawmakers are back at it, this time proposing jail time for school librarians who stock inappropriate books. No word yet on whether To Kill a Mockingbird will be replaced with How to Win Elections Without Reading. Healthcare? We hardly know her. A Mississippi hospital announced it's shutting down its ER on weekends due to staffing shortages. Don't get hurt on a Saturday, folks. Or if you do, try to bleed in network. Billionaire tax break bingo. A new tax loophole lets ultra-wealthy families pass on private jets and yachts tax-free, as long as they're used for business, because nothing says productivity like a margarita-fueled brainstorm at 30,000 feet. Congressional fitness trackers still flatlining. The average age in the Senate hit 65.4 this week, which means our lawmakers are now statistically more likely to fall in a bathtub than pass meaningful legislation. AI writes better laws than Congress. Literally. A tech intern fed ChatGPT the U.S. tax code and asked it to fix it. It produced a more coherent system in 11 seconds, but lawmakers called it too woke. Woo, that was like drinking from a firehouse of dysfunction. But before you completely lose faith in society and start Googling how to build a bunker with Wi-Fi, let's cleanse the chaos with a little something that doesn't make you want to scream into a throw pillow. It's time for Tell Me Something Good, because yes, the planet is on fire, but some kids in Detroit are out here building hope with a wrench and a dream. In a plot twist that would never happen in Congress, a group of high schoolers in Detroit just won an international robotics competition without corporate sponsors, lobbyists, or PAC money. They built an autonomous robot from scratch using recycled parts, ran it on solar power, and coded it themselves. Meanwhile, half of Washington can't even update their iPhones without crashing the economy. These teens beat out 60 other teams, including some from countries with full government funding, proving that creativity, grit, and public school miracles still exist. So while politicians are out here cosplaying as action heroes and slashing science budgets like it's a clearance rack, these kids are building the actual future with duct tape, donated snacks, and sheer brilliance. There's hope for humanity. It's just not in the Capitol. It's in a Detroit high school basement with LED lights and a 3D printer. And that's your Friday SassCast, the only news show bold enough to say what we're all thinking. This country is being run like a group project where the guy with Cheeto dust on his tie insists he's the leader. We've got Pentagon layoffs, political catfish hackers, and the Justice Department ghosting actual legal experts like it's a bad Hinge date. But also, we've got teenagers building robots that work better than Congress. So hope isn't dead. It's just in public school detention waiting for funding. I'd say have a great weekend, but let's be real. If you're a parent, the only thing Friday means is you get to spend more time with your kids and stare at those laundry piles more. And maybe take that a little personally. So instead, have a strong coffee, a locked bathroom door, and one moment of peace where no kids ask for a snack. This has been your SassCast, smart, sassy, and slightly sleep deprived. Catch you next time, unless I finally do what Congress won't and take an actual break. See you tomorrow!